Goddess here. So I wanted to touch bases on the 5 languages of love. So it's going to be like a quick little run through. It's not going to take that much. If you don't know your love languages, you can go ahead and take the test that's in the description box, and then you can come back over here so we can like find out what it is. And you also want to ask your partner to take the love language test as well. This is like very crucial. So I am in no way, shape or form, oh my god, see, I've obtained throughout the years and based off of like my personal relationship that I'm in right now. All right, so let's get into it. Yes, the languages of love, the 5 languages of love are indeed real. This is a book that Dr. Chapman wrote. If you would like the link, there's the Amazon link down below as well. So let's get into the languages of love. Well, people give love and receive love in different ways. So like my love language could be different than your love language. Your partner's love language could be different. Like, do you ever get the notion where like, oh my god, like you take out the trash, you pay the bills, and you pick up the kids from school, and you give them a massage, you send them texts like nonstop all the time, and they just feel like they're empty, like their needs are not being met, like their wants are not being met. Okay, it's most likely because their love languages are different and they differ from yours. Does that make sense? So like you could be like filling up somebody's tank, you could be thinking, so there's a love tank, all right? It also explains in the book. And so let's get into you don't want to assume, right? With that being said, love is a choice, right? And once you start, it's funny because like once you start doing these actions, then of course the needs are going to start being fulfilled, but this has to be reciprocated, right? This is why communication is crucial. From the knowledge that I have or the experience that I've gained, it's based off of like, you can give somebody what you think that they want. Like I said, you don't want to assume. So it's best if you ask them like, hey, like how was it when, like, as you were a child, right? So like, what is your love language? Basically this is why you get to know people, because we're all different. Okay, so for affirmation number 1, or affirmation, I'm sorry. So for love language number 1, this is just, it's not in order, it's just like how I have it written down on my notebook, right? This is words of affirmation, right? Words of affirmation, it's kind of like you want to hear meaningful words, and you are always getting compliments, those cute little texts, those little love notes in your lunch, like, and it's just like the little compliments, that is key, that is crucial, that is one love language that can very much fulfill you or your partner. And a lot of the times insults can be very detrimental in the relationship. These people can be very detrimental in the relationship, to the point where words hurt, right? And if you're really honest, if you're blunt, you want to take under consideration your person's feelings if these words of affirmation are it, because you can be filling up their tank, but then again you could be depleting it, and then you guys, they could be running on fumes. Now we have the second love language, which is quality time, right? Quality time is where the quality time is valued by undivided attention. No TV, no cell phone, no distractions, just like quiet room, you and your person or your partner, and you go from there. No distractions, obviously, and it's really key to listen, to hear your person out, or to be heard if this is the type of love language that you have, right? It's better to listen, and you want to make more eye contact. So eye contact is really key, really crucial. It's just failure to listen it can be very hurtful. I know that we have distractions in our everyday lives, but we'll get into it later on in the video how we can do this, right? And then you never want to assume. Again, you always want to ask. You always want to ask. This is why you get the get to know person comes from, you know, getting to know them, where they come from, what their childhood stems from. Okay, we'll get on those later on in the video. So now we also have number three, okay, is receiving gifts, right? Who doesn't love gifts? But the thing is, you can give somebody a lot of gifts, you know, and it doesn't matter. But the point about receiving gifts is the thought. You can give somebody just like a little card and, you know, compliment them on their eyes, right? Or tell them like, hey, you know, I paid this. And that's a type of gift that you know, if you have this type of love language, that's going to help you out in the long run. And it's more of being aware of the person. Does that make sense? It doesn't have to be like super lavish. It doesn't have to be like the most expensive gift ever, because you can throw money at someone, but like that's not going to fulfill them. So again, yeah, don't assume that they like these expensive gifts. They might not even like gifts. Receiving gifts, that might not even be their love language. So next we have number four. Number four is acts of service. This is very big. I noticed that a lot of the times, you know, it's just the small things, kind of, you know, taking out the trash, right? Paying the bills, you know, taking the kids, picking them up, dropping them off, stuff like that. It's like cooking, right? It's so beautiful, stuff like that. And also like fixing stuff. Like if your partner likes stuff, you know, likes fixing stuff themselves, you know, why not do something for them? You can be male or female, right? And it's not necessarily like fixing problems. I don't know how deep it's going to stem. You know, you might want to talk to your person about that. But the thing is, like, it's better to always ask. This is like how communication comes into par, and it helps you out in the long run because you're building a stable foundation for you and your partner. And you know, if the work is really invested, you're going to get a positive investment in return. So you want to keep that in mind. Also, we have, last but not least, the fifth love language. I almost forgot what we were doing. So, which is, of course, physical touch. Touch is very crucial if your person has this. If you don't like touching, you know, work through it. You know, love, like I said, love is a choice. Dr. Chapman states here where, based off of like their childhood, that's what their requirements, their love languages are going to be. Me personally, I'm pretty needy, but I'm pretty self-sufficient. But when I let somebody else in my energy, of course, they're going to know how I am privately, right? They're going to be there. They're going to be around my energy. They're going to see me like, you know, aside from us like going out like once a week or like a couple of times a week, you know, they're gonna see me in my own personal private habitat in my room. So with that being said, we have, you know, like the hugs and the cuddling and the kisses. This type of physical presence is very crucial. And you know, it's not being needy per se. There is like a very big like difference. You want to go ahead and like kind of like speak about that too with your person, or make it known. It's what a person needs, type of needs are. Okay, so now we have this recap that's going on. Like, here are some like takeaways that I want you guys to have. So we talked about the words of affirmation, right? We broke them down, which is like in simplest form. You know, we have the the words of affirmation, obviously, and then we broke down quality time, and we also have receiving gifts, right? Dr. Chapman is really detail oriented about this and can like really help you out in the long run for your relationship. And I am no way, shape, or form, affiliated with anything that I promote. This is just, like I said, this is based off my personal information and the knowledge that I've gained throughout the years, my adult years, basically. And we also have we also have like acts of service, right? And last but not least, physical touch. So these are not in no way, shape, or form going to be all like resonating with you, but you can definitely check them out. So here I want some questions to ask yourself, right? These questions, like I said, they're in my notebook. The questions that I would like for you to ask yourself is like, what made you feel loved as a child? What made you feel loved as a child? You really want to sit down with your person, or even like get to know the person. If you're like out there in the dating scene, and you really want to invest in this person, that question that you want to ask, it's really critical, because if you catch them, not catch them off guard, but if you throw this question out there while you guys are just like, oh, what do you like to do for fun? Bungee jump, you want to be more kind of like, what made you feel more loved as a child? That's a really like a question that will really make you think, like, well, and that'll dig deep. That's more of like a subconscious type of like, thinking, it's like beyond me. That's like, really, I have to go through all like, and if your person does not want to talk about it, it could be that, they're running on fumes. Their love tank has not been met. So it's kind of, they're like, they're kind of working on it. So this takes me to the second question, right? It's like, look at how like badly you have been hurt in the past. You don't want to ask them this question, but it's kind of like you want to look back, like, how badly have you been hurt, and then how badly has your person been hurt. That's what the love languages stem from, basically. So it's like, if they have their needs have not been met in the past, with the past relationships, it could be that that person's ex could have had different love languages that they thought they were giving it, of course, but your person in return did not see those love languages or their love tank being met. So when I'm talking about a love tank, this is when Dr. Chapman states, like, let's say you have empty and you have full. So what you might think is like good, it might deplete your person's love tank. So the love tank is kind of like the foundation, the stability, the energy. I mean, you can't drive a car if it's not on fuel, right? I mean, aside from energy efficient, you can't drive a car if it's not fully charged, right? An EV. So you want to take that under consideration. So think of yourself having that love tank. That is what nourishes you. That is what helps you to keep going. You want to think about that. So sorry if I'm opening up my eyes, but like, my eyes are really hurting. What I want to say is, what we think is an act of love may be different to our partner. So while you're filling up the tank, you might think that you're filling it up, you're communicating properly. That might not be their type of communication, as in their love language. So in a nutshell, instead of helping them out, you could be depleting them. So this is why it's best to not assume. You always want to ask. Communication. That's the number one foundation. That's like your concrete for your foundation. And I'm telling you this because I learned this the hard way. Like, you can burn yourself out if you can continue to like give your person what you think may be their language, but it's not, right? So yeah, you want to do something. So we're gonna try something out, and this is great, right? A lot of us do want our personal time, and it's good to have that type of communication. If your person is really into touch, if they're really into like quality time, and you're not, you're more of like acts of service, you're more of like, I don't know, words of affirmation, you're okay with a text being sent here and there, you're okay with a note being, so it could differ, right? This is why it's best not to assume, but it's best to ask, right? Communication, like I can't stress this enough. Like I always like to tell people, like until I get blue in the face, like communication is key no matter what relationship, friendship you're in, right? Those languages can also derive in a friendship, like what it is, okay? And it doesn't always have to be intimate. Like it doesn't always have to be a relationship. It's a friendship. Even with your family, like get to know your family. If you really want to get to know someone, like deep down to their core, you ask them, like, what's your love language? What are your love languages? And like they'll, like if they don't know that, help them out. Like be like, okay, well, break it down for them. So yeah, you want to do something once a week for your partner, and you want to let them know. You kind of like want to like think of this like as a love task. Like I said, love is a language. If you are doing these actions, if you choose to do these type of actions for your person, then everything else is going to fall into order. And a relationship works better when the tank is full, just because of the fact that you're running full power, you're running on a full tank of gas, full tank of love, right? And it's just like, oh, like I'm tired of this, I'm tired of that. Well, maybe because you're running on fumes, right? And you want to go ahead and fill that up. So with that being said, it could be, if you try these out, you'll know like where your person's love tank is, you'll know where your love tank is, and that can help you out in the long run. Because if you're running low on fumes, you want to keep working on these type of actions, these love languages, to fill up their tank. But again, you can't assume, right? Let's not assume, because that never gets us anywhere, and we want to ask the questions. So yeah, communication is crucial. So with that being said, this is a recap. So we touched bases on Dr. Chapman's like breakdown. Like I didn't know what a love language was until like last year. So like I'm gonna be really truthful with you. Like I'm pretty needy, and I'm thankful that my person is needy as well. And you work with that, and love is a choice. And if you really want to nurture your relationship, you want to go ahead and make those actions, like conduct the actions that are necessary for your person's love tank to be fulfilled. Because it comes to the time where, like, let's say, how can I say this? There comes a time where you're going through tough times, right? And your relationship is at stake. That tank could be very crucial for you guys to have that type of communication to have a successful outcome, And if you're running on fumes, like guess what? They're not going to want to go anywhere. You're not going to want to go anywhere, as in like in communication wise. So this is why I'm saying it's very crucial, and it's just that easy. It really is. If you guys haven't already, if you guys don't know, there's a link down below for Dr. Chapman's like book, and so if you haven't already, you can go ahead and read down below. Take a minute or two, whatever it may be, to skim through to what might be your love language, right? You also have the quiz down below to take to see, if you can find a different part of you. So yeah, I hope this has helped you guys. It's really quick. I didn't really want to like prolong it. But yeah, it's just like a quick run through of what the 5 languages are. I feel like the more people I get to talk to, the older I get, they could go like decades without knowing what their love language is, and it's kind of like, it's crucial for them, because they could be running low their entire life, So yeah, I hope this helped you guys. Don't forget to comment down below what your love language is, okay? Don't forget to stay positive, be positive. You are positive, you guys. I love each and every one of you. Bye.